Oh, you guys, it is a socks and shoes kind of gardening day. Unfortunately, I mean, we're gonna do some fun things, but it's not fun to put socks and shoes on. Prefer my flip-flops. Oh, there's a black cat. I haven't seen him before. Hey, bud. Wow, he's really black. Pretty. Hi there. Today I am going to be digging up, splitting, and transplanting some hosta that are getting way too overgrown for an area that I put into my yard when we built our house. So I'm gonna flip you around and show you what I'm talking about. Right here I have got just a garden that is jam-packed full of hosta and astilbe, and you can't tell now because they're still kind of popping up and leafing out. The ones that have already popped up a little bit are still leafing out. But once this all leaves out, you can't see any mulch. And it's beautiful, but I prefer to see mulch around my plants because I already deal with a lot of critters, and one of those critters is snakes. Not too many of them, and I know they're good for my garden, and I'm like okay with it, but they're scary, they're creepy, they just kind of sneak around out of nowhere. This is a prime time area where snakes would probably love to live and hang out. So what I've been meaning to do for years, I just haven't had time, is getting in here, digging up some of these hosta, for sure those wide brims, splitting them and transplanting them some somewhere else. I might dig up, I've got 3 bridal veil astilbe right here, so there's 1, 2, 3. I might dig up, you know, all of them and then just leave one. Right here I actually had 3 visions in pink astilbe, and I dug one up already and moved it, so I could just keep one right there. You know, they're 7 years old, so they're big enough to stand on their own as one plant. For those, I'll probably just split each one and leave a chunk. And then over here, these ones are a little bit smaller. These are little blue mouse ears, so they don't get as big. I can still see the mulch around these ones. That one gets pretty big, but it's just one in itself, so it's fine for now. I might end up digging those up and splitting them. I think those are the blue halcyon. Let's see, these are Captain Kirk, and for sure I want to get that astilbe out of there. I think that's a Visions pink astilbe, and once this, you know, well, you can already see my Japanese maple, which is actually gorgeous. So pretty right now. But you can see that it just kind of hides that astilbe right there, and you literally, once all these hosta fill in and stuff, you can't even see it anymore. I have already split hosta from this side a ton. So I've got like Francis William that I had in here. I had Blue Angel and Elegance all in here. Oh, there's Spike. Hey, buddy. I had tons in here that I already moved out. So right now I think these are 3 frozen margarita maybe. And then this one is beautiful. It's a Dream Queen. So this one gets massive. I could, hey buddy. Hi. I could dig that up actually and split it. It doesn't look like much right now, but once it leaves out, it gets so big. So I could cut it into 2 pieces. These ones down around here I think are fine. I really like how these look. These are Minuteman under here, and I really like how these are spaced out. I kind of cleaned this area up last year or the previous year a little bit, so it's mainly just, you know, back in there and then for sure back there. So Spike is just gonna hang out, I guess, today. He actually came up on the porch and met Max through the screen, and they kind of had like a stare down for a second. So that was a little funny, but so yeah, I'm gonna go get my shovel and we'll start digging and splitting. I was thinking about digging those wide brim up, the ones that are in the corner of the house there, and putting them over in this section. And I don't know if they'll stay there, but I really want another hosta over here in between my guacamole and woolalas that is a little bit more variegated. So these ones, these are, or not guacamole, I'm sorry. These are stained glass. They look very similar to guacamole, but these are stained glass and they have a slight variegation, but it's a lot more muted. Same thing with these. Holy cow. Look how big that one is. These are woolala hosta, so it does have a slight variegation, but like I said, it's a bit more muted. So I was thinking it'd be cool to get a hosta in here that has like a striking variegation, like my wide brims in the corner there. So, all right, first off, I'm gonna go back up and grab my gloves. The bleeding hearts are starting to fade. They're still pretty. And my moss river is holding up strong. Looks pretty neat. I'm excited about it. It'll be fun once I get mulch down here. I don't have any mulch down yet, but I'm loving all the color already in this bed. Super neat. We'll see how long these catching fire heucherella survive out here. They didn't do the greatest last year once the heat came on. Oh, it's starting to bloom. But we'll see. They're looking really nice now. Hey, Spike. What you doing, bud? You gonna help me today? Are called wide brim hosta, and I've had these in here for a good, I think 7 years. I think we've had her been in our house for 7 years. So they're pretty well established. I gotta be careful not to get the drip tubing here. So this drip tubing, when we built our house, I put all this landscaping in, like, I don't know, the first year, first and a half year or whatever. And the guys came to install our underground sprinkling in our grass. And for some reason, they like had to keep canceling. They couldn't come out because of different reasons or whatever, and they felt really bad. So they apologized, and they're like, hey, we're sorry it's taking so long to get it out. We feel really bad. We want to make it up to you by upgrading your system to like our best system that we have, and then we also want to put drip tubing in your beds. And I was like, and for free. And I was like, okay. So they went around and put just around our house, because that's all I had, was just literally we came in, we put the edging in, and I started planting a bunch of plants, and that's all we had, you know. So they came in and they placed all this tubing like all around all the plants and everything, so that's pretty cool. So we got this for free. I don't have it in my gully or anywhere like on the outside. It's just, like I said, around my house, but it's hard to get this one out because of the house and the angle. So I almost got it. Just gonna keep working on it for a sec. There we go, we got it. All right, so I'm just going to basically knock off most of this soil, and then we'll get it split up. Ooh, there's a rock. Keep that. I keep all the rocks. I don't care how small they are. Okay. This is a big one. And the cool thing about these hosta is they're such a strong plant, like they won't skip a beat. Especially if you do it early in the season like this, in the spring. But even if it was completely leafed out, as long as you're putting it somewhere like, you know, in the shade and giving it enough water, they do just fine being transplanted like this. So, but I wanted to do this in real time so you could see how easy it is and how, you know, it doesn't take that much time at all. Like I said, this has been in here for 7 years, maybe 8. I can't remember when we built our house, but there it is. All right, so I'm gonna get you closer and we'll get it split up. You can normally see a natural division usually. What I mean by that is you can see there's almost like a natural line that goes across there. So I could split this, well, you could split it like honestly in however many parts you want. As long as you've got one of these stalks with some root attached to it, you're good to go. This is also like a hosta breeding ground. You can see like over here, I have so many hosta in here that I have to dig out every year that just kind of seed themselves. Oh, more rocks down there we can get. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I might have to go get my hori knife, but this is such a big one. You can kind of see there's like a natural division right in there. So I'm just gonna take my shovel, and this looks a little bit like I should be on like the true crime channel right now. They'll be just fine. Actually, I'm gonna go right there. And you gotta be aggressive with it, just like that. See? Split into two chunks. So we've got a giant hosta right here and a giant hosta right here. So I did sacrifice a few little leaves, you know, in the act, but look at all the roots on that. It'll be such a great plant. So what I think I'm gonna do is actually put this one right back in the hole. I think I'll just do this same thing. I will dig the other two up the same way and then leave a chunk of it. All right, so I've got this. I can split again if I wanted to and plant somewhere else, or I could just plant the whole thing somewhere. So I'm gonna go set this aside and do the same thing to the other two.
Take these chains from my heart and set me free. You've grown cold and no longer care for me. All my faith in you is gone, but the heartaches linger on. Take these chains from my heart and set me free.
That makes me feel so much better. These aren't gonna be nearly as big this year. Hopefully half as big. That's the plan. There's still a giant hosta. I really could have split all of these another time, but we'll just do that for now. Like I said, this is 3 massive astilbe, and I honestly kind of only need 1 right here because they're huge. Like this is 1 big one right there. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually take those 2 out, because once they get big, they kind of encroach on this path a little bit, and also my hose, and I'm always afraid that there are snakes in here. So I think I'll just leave that astilbe, dig these out.
Take these tears from my eyes and let me see just a spark of the love that used to be. If you
digging this one up and just shifting it over a little bit so it's in this center spot. However, this is an early bloomer astilbe, so this is a bridal veil, and I actually had bits of the tag, but it, like, I tried to pull it out and it literally just like shattered into pieces because it's so old. Anyway, it's a bridal veil astilbe, and it's my first astilbe to bloom, so I don't want to mess with it too much. I want it to have a chance to bloom this year, and then possibly maybe I'll move it in the fall and shift it over, but it could be fine right now, now that I gave it some room to breathe and move those other two out of the way. So I think next I want to possibly dig up these and split those. I'm just trying to remember, those didn't get as thick as what these ones did. I might end up digging those up, but I for sure want to take out one of those astilbe and just make it one plant over. I decided I'm going to take that one out. That way there'll just be one giant one right here, and it'll leave room for these hosta to kind of take up more of that space in there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one out, and this is a Visions in Pink. I want to take this one out in real time so that you guys can see how quickly these astilbe come up. The roots are very shallow and they are kind of spread wide. So watch, I'm going to make sure I'm not getting a drip line here, but it's actually good that I'm doing this because all the drip lines have like started to go through the plant. You can tell that like there was a tiny plant right here and it went that way and the drip line goes straight through. So you know, the roots aren't like as aggressive or anything. It's not like it's gonna hurt my drip line, but look, that's it. I just dug it in one time in the dirt and it came out, and I can probably lift this out just like this. That's all it took. But let me get a good grip on it. See, that drip line went straight through it. You can see how shallow that is. It's pretty cool, and how big that plant is. This is a 7-year-old astilbe. I could split this into like 5 or 6 pieces. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of fill this in a little bit. We still have to get mulch in over here. Kind of level this out a little bit. But that's all it takes. Like, I just split 3 hostas, dug out 3 astilbe, and I don't know, I've only been out here for about 15 minutes. And I got 3 plants. Got 6 free plants that I could make into more. I feel like at this point I might just leave those Fire Island hosta because I did just give them a lot more room to kind of, you know, do their thing. And these blue halcyon hosta, they don't get as big. They're not like a giant hosta, so I'll let those do their thing for now. I feel like this is a good start for over here. This is helping me accomplish a little bit of what I wanted to set out to do. And these were the only leaves harmed in the splitting of those 3 hosta. For sure got to get that astilbe out because it's serving no purpose. And then these don't look like much now, but they get pretty big. However, gosh, this side wasn't as bad as the other side, but I really think I want to split that one because it just got so big right here, and like it has no room to grow up next to the house. Honestly, I probably should just take that one out and put it somewhere else and put a different hosta there, or actually I could put an astilbe there. Let me think about it for a minute. So I have an idea. I think I'm going to take one of the bridal veil astilbe, take that Dream Queen out, put the bridal veil astilbe there, and that way there'll be a bridal veil there and one there.
Give my heart just a word of sympathy. Be as fair to my heart as you can be. Then if you no longer care for the...
Oh, that is way better. And I did not split this one. I want it to stay this big. and put it somewhere amazing so it can just do its thing. And you all always ask me where I get all my rocks, because everywhere I've dug, I always find rocks. So I've saved all my rocks over the years digging holes, and this is what I use to decorate my garden with. Just in that one hole, that's where I found all these rocks, like around the outskirts. So when I planted that hosta, it was just like a tiny, probably quart size, and I didn't dig that big of a hole. And then all around it was all these rocks. So that's where I get all my rocks from, just a side note. So last but not least, I want to dig out that astilbe. Easy as that. These had more of a variegation on them, and I think that they do when they leaf out more, so I think we'll be fine. And you know what, if they don't look good in a year or two or whatever, I'll just dig them up and move them again. But what I wanted to do is maybe put them like in this spot. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I could split this again, but nah. Kind of like it that it's not too much of a contrast, because it almost like blends in with the stained glass a little bit in a zigzag. Once they do leaf out a little more, they do get a little bit more contrasted variegation in the leaves. Some of you guys asked me how I dig with like trees out here. I literally just hack the root off is what I do with my shovel. So this root was going straight across that hole. I just hacked it, got rid of it. Same thing with this hole. This little root was going straight across, so I just hacked it on both ends with my shovel, and good to go. For the rest of the plants, I think I'm just gonna hold them over in this area down here. I'm working on trying to clean all of this out and turn it into like another like gully garden, I guess, with some pathways and different things. So I've got some plants already out here being held over, but I think what my goal is to, you can't really tell, but I want to be able to drive down here with the gator and go through this area and be able to like back in there and throw things away. And then also I want to come and make a path all the way around here so I can come up on the other side. What I need to do is move probably 1, 2, 3, 4, those 4 carex, that hosta, that ooh la la, and then the bird bath. So I'm gonna move those, and they might just be in a temporary spot for now until, you know, until I find a home for them, and then we'll get the rest of these in the ground.
I've always been crazy in the trouble that it's put me through. I've been busted for things that I did and didn't do. I can't winding up somewhere, one step ahead or behind. It ain't been so easy, but I guess that I shouldn't complain. I've always been crazy, but it's kept me from going insane. Beautiful lady, are you sure that you understand the chances you're taking, loving a free living man? Are you really sure that you...
That helps a lot. That kind of gave me a path in between there, and basically eventually what I want to be able to do is drive down through here and go that way, and then also go around that way all the way around my house. And one of these days too, once we get the steps finished on our deck, I want to build a fire pit right there. We can't really grow grass in here anyway, it's kind of spotty. But I'll probably take this bed that needs fixed. This has been in here for quite some time as well, but probably round it off like that, dig out all that sod, and then make this like a pathway through here. And I know it looks like a jungle mess, but this is how it begins. So all of this, you know, used to look like that. All of my gully garden, you know, all of that used to look like that. So it just takes a little bit at a time, and you know, I don't know how this will look once these all fill in, but for now this is fine. I ended up moving the carex in a nice little drift right there. That is a Diamond Lake hosta. And then I've got 3 Francis William. I think that is the Visions in Pink one that we dug up from the side of the house, astilbe. This is just some Hyconic grass that I dug up from the side of the house last year. I forgot there's a Brenner on here. And this is a Praying Hands hosta in here that I had last. I already had that in there. Anyway, let's see, which one is that? No, sorry. That, okay, so that one, and that one are Francis William. So these 3 are the same. Then these 3 are the same. Those are Woo La La. And then that is the Dream Queen, the one that we dug up from the side of the house. And we did not split this one. This is the one that we replaced with the white astilbe. So I think that will be fine for now. Put the bird bath there. And then I also kind of tried to clean up that rock line there, so it was more just clean looking and put together. And there's really no rhyme or reason to me getting out the rototiller. I just kind of like a clean slate when I'm trying to move things around sometimes. That's what I did in my gully. As I cleaned it out, I kind of rototilled it and freshened up the dirt, honestly, for no other reason than I think it looks nicer, and it helps me like think, and it helps me try to organize and put the puzzle together in my brain when it's like nice and clean and raked out. So that there's really no other reason for me doing it than just my preference. That's how I like to decorate my garden, is to kind of get a clean slate. So anyway, I'm gonna clean up my mess here, and hope that you guys, oh, there's a frog. Hey buddy, you wanna say hi? Oh! I might just, he don't want me to pick him up here. He's really cool looking. Hey bud, you're so pretty. You just hanging out here? Aww. Anyway, so thank you guys for hanging out with me. I did just want to say before I sign off, if you are nervous about splitting your plants, if you are thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna kill it, I don't want to stick my shovel in there, I don't want to dig it up, what if it dies, all these things, start with a hosta. Hosta are super forgiving. They're an amazingly hardy plant. With all the years that I've been digging and splitting and even trying to split things that they say you shouldn't split, I've never once lost a hosta, ever, never. So if you are, oh, somebody's practicing their shooting, I think. If you are a little skittish about digging something up and splitting it, try a hosta. Make sure to have a root ball on it. You're not like leaving, you know, the stalk with no root, and you get it back in the ground as soon as you can so the roots aren't exposed for too long. Get some water on it, make sure it's got shade. Try to do it in the spring or the fall. You can do it in the summer. I've done that many times, but spring and the fall is best. Like, I'm pretty much gonna 100% guarantee that you're gonna have a success, honestly. Anyway, this comes out on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. And I hope that you guys are just having a wonderful day. If it comes out the day after Mother's Day, I hope you had a great Mother's Day. We'll see you guys later. Bye.